My friends, this is Dr. B. Today, the best doctor in medicine, 30 plus years of clinical experience in medicine, wants to tell you about the lies that they are telling you about your need to eat fish every day or every other week, right? Or every other, day or blah, blah, blah. This is all lies and nothing but lies. I am the living proof that you do not need to eat any freaking fish or seafood. I haven't eaten any fish for the last 10 years. The last time I ate a fish was more than 10 years. I remember with my ex-girlfriend, she loved to eat fish and salmon and blah, blah, blah. And by the time I was with her, so I used to eat fish every once in a while. I haven't eaten even one single fish or seafood in more than 10 years. I don't even remember. I think it was even more than 10 years, probably 12 years ago, right? I am the living proof. I am 50 years young. My brain is super sharp. All my viral signs and vital parameters, my blood pressure, my fasting sugar, my cholesterol, my triglyceride, my liver function test, kidney function test, everything are those of a baby. I am super, super smart. My brain, my memory is even better than when I was 20 years young in medical college and medical school. I wish I had this brain when I was in medical college and medical school more than 30 years ago, right? It is a lie that you need to eat fish or seafood every day or every other day or 2 or 3 times per week. It is an absolute lie, and I am the living proof. There are so many other ways to get your protein and of course, your essential fatty acids, right? The omega-3 fatty acids, right? Many, many different ways. Pay attention to this. Unless you live somewhere close to the rivers of Alaska, somewhere in the mountainous regions of Alaska, right? I live here in Mountain View, California, the expensive and crazy city, beautiful but super expensive city of Mountain View, California. Unless you live somewhere in the Northern Ocean state of Alaska and you can fish your own wild-caught salmon, every freaking seafood that you buy at the store is processed. It is full of arsenic, cadmium, lead, and mercury. Arsenic, cadmium, lead, and mercury. All this freaking seafood that you buy at the store, most of which, all this shrimp, all this tilapia, all this freaking fish that you buy, a huge amount of them come from Southeast Asia. It is all full of arsenic, cadmium, lead, and mercury. These are extremely toxic heavy metals that will accumulate over time in your brain and cause you dementia. No wonder why the incidence of dementia has been rising constantly year after year in the Western world. Because all these people who are now 60, 65, 70, 75, 80 have been eating nasty fish, nasty seafood full of arsenic, cadmium, lead, mercury, these 4 nasty heavy metal poisons that you eat and they accumulate in your brain, destroy your brain and gives you dementia, right? No wonder why the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, right, tells you in their website that it's very healthy to eat seafood and fish, and we recommend between 2 to 3 portions maximum per week. Why do they tell you maximum 2 to 3 portions per week? Well, if eating fish and seafood was so healthy for you, then why would you not eat it every day? The only reason, as the FDA itself, Food and Drug Administration, right? American, USA Food and Drug Administration admits that all the food, all the seafood, and all the fish that you consume here in America, that is in the stores where you buy, except, of course, if you have your own property in Alaska and you catch the salmon that is wild and fresh and with no chemical, no herbicides, no pesticides, no heavy metals, right? But who has the ability to live over there close to those wild river and rivers in Alaska, right? Even in Alaska, people live in cities, big cities of Anchorage and everything, right? So here, 99% or at least 90% of the American people do not have access to meat that is not processed, that is not full of carcinogen, that is not full of herbicides, pesticides, right? That's why I am an absolute vegetarian, and the only animal product that I eat is eggs. Eggs are super healthy for you, and in the process of formation, the egg, right, the chemicals and all this nasty stuff do not penetrate inside the egg to a certain extent, right? So that's why the only animal product that I eat is this egg. I get all my freaking omega-3 fatty acids, right? There are 3 types. I wrote them for you. ALA, DHA, EPA, alpha linolenic acid, docosahexaenoic acid, eicosapentaenoic acid. You don't need to know these names. But these, except these 2, right? ALA, alpha linolenic acid, a very important omega-3 fatty acid, right, is present in olive oil. It is present in walnut oil, right? It is present in my fish oil supplement. I make sure that I buy it made in America so that it doesn't have heavy metals. The heavy metals have been removed from the fish oil. I'm not advertising any brand. Make sure you buy fish oil that is not made in Southeast Asia, that is not made in China. Those are fake fish oil, right? They are full of all these heavy metals that have not been removed. Make sure that you buy your fish oil from American-made companies. It is guaranteed that they have removed, and I did my research. Make sure you do your research, that it is absolutely free of arsenic, cadmium, lead, and mercury, those heavy metals that go to your brain and give you dementia. And I get a lot of my ALA, one of the 3 omega-3 fatty acids, from almonds. I'm not advertising any brand. Whatever you want to buy, 100% pure California almonds, no sugar, no salt. I have the same in walnuts. I have the same in peanuts. Look, peanut butter, 100% pure. I have all the omega-3 fatty acids that I need, except, of course, the last 2. The EPA and DHA, you need to get fish oil in order to get the last 2, DHA and EPA. Fish oil has the 3 omega-3 fatty acids, ALA, DHA, and EPA. Right? So if you want to get the DHA and EPA, the only option is to eat fish oil. And remember, if your heart is healthy, just have 1 in the morning, 1,000 milligrams. If you have cardiovascular disease, then you get 3, 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, 1 in the evening. Do not overdose on fish oil. If you are healthy like Dr. B, you don't need 3 a day. Only 1 in the morning. It's enough. You don't need that much vitamins and minerals and proteins and blah, blah, blah. You don't need it after a certain age because you're no longer growing. You're no longer an adolescent. You're no longer a child constantly growing in body weight and in height. All you need is to maintain your health, to maintain your metabolism, your body healthy. And I am 50 years young. I'm an expert in medical imaging. I take the ultrasound probe. I put it on my carotid arteries. 0 plaques, 0. My thyroid gland, absolutely normal, that of a baby. My heart, my liver, my kidneys, everything. My abdominal aorta, everything. My bladder, my prostate, my balls, my penis, everything you can imagine, right? I look at it, all my blood vessels, in my femoral artery, my brachial artery, everything, no plaques. I have 0% body fat. My tummy flat like a board. My love handles, they don't exist. My visceral fat, there's no fat under my skin. I can look at it with the ultrasound probe. No fat around my organs in my belly. No visceral fat, right? And I have never eaten any fish or any seafood in the last 10 years. Think about all these nasty shrimp that they bring at the store. Where do you think it comes from? It comes from Vietnam. Have you ever been to Southeast Asia? See how all those factories, how all those sewers are getting emptied in the ocean, in the lakes. The same lakes and the same oceans that they catch all these freaking shrimp and all this tilapia. All this tilapia that you buy in your burger, right? Fish sandwich, that fish sandwich in every burger chain, it's all tilapia. Where do you think that tilapia comes from? It comes from Southeast Asia. It is cultivated, right? It's industrial farming. Nothing is wild caught anymore. All the shrimp, all the tilapia, all the seafood from Southeast Asia, it's industrial, massive ponds, reservoirs, full of cadmium, lead, arsenic, mercury, right? From industrial runoffs, from sewer. Right? Have you ever been to India? Have you ever been to Bangladesh? Have you ever been to Thailand? Have you ever been to Philippines? Have you ever been to China? Have you ever been to Vietnam? I have been to all these. Have you ever been to Indonesia? I've been to all these countries in Southeast Asia. They directly empty all these factories. Do you think that they have environmental regulations like in America? Like the factories are not allowed to empty their nasty stuff into the ocean? Of course. All these runoff from all this toxic waste that come out of all these nasty factories that are built close to the rivers and the oceans, right? They empty directly into the rivers and they go into the ocean, right? They empty directly into the rivers and they go into the ponds where they cultivate your tilapia, your shrimps, and then you put all these shrimps into your mouth. You put arsenic, cadmium, lead, mercury, and after 30 years, you're going to complain, how come you're developing dementia? How come you're developing heart failure, right? How come you're developing cancers? How come you're developing all these autoimmune disorders? Because you've been feeding yourself all this nasty stuff. I get all my proteins from eggs, from healthy, no additive, no sugar, no nasty stuff, healthy protein powder. Look at this one. This one, pea protein, 7 pounds, 100% pea protein. I get the same thing in whey protein. I get the same thing in collagen peptides, right? 100% natural, unprocessed food, right? This one is even organic. It's made in America. Make sure you buy made in America because then you cannot trust. It has cocoa powder, non-processed. It has carrot, gram, blah, blah, blah. It has all these multivitamins and everything you need, right? You don't need, and I have, of course, olive oil, walnut oil, and canola oil. I get all the omega-3 fatty acids that I need with all this stuff that I eat, plus one time in the morning, fish oil, in order to get my DHA EPA. DHA and EPA, you can find them only in fish oil or krill oil. Or you can buy krill oil instead of fish oil. Why not? Make sure it's made in America so that it's guaranteed that it's heavy metal, heavy toxins free. Because if you buy it anywhere else, how do you know? Especially don't buy anything from China, Vietnam, Philippines, Thailand, India. It's all fake. Not only it's fake, if it's not fake, then it's full of arsenic, cadmium, lead, and mercury, right? So it's very important. And I mix my protein powder with cocoa powder, 100% pure cocoa powder, unprocessed. That's it. I get all the proteins that I need. I get all the vitamins, minerals. I get, of course, some also vitamin D, calcium, one pill of multivitamins, right? I eat some avocado, tomato paste. I get yogurt for my probiotics, right? And I get all the fibers, dietary fibers that I need. Remember, you need at least 30 grams of dietary fibers per day. I get them from my nuts, from my cocoa powder. I get them from my peanut butter. Guys, peanut butter 100% pure, no sugar, no salt, no hydrogenated fat, right? This is not food. This is superfood. Superfood. Almonds are not food. They are superfood. They have proteins, right? They have minerals, vitamins, antioxidants, everything your body needs, dietary fibers. You need at least 30 grams of dietary fibers. I get double. And of course, avocados. The benefit of avocado, it's one of the few fruits that I eat, one of the few, right? Because it has only 2 grams of sugar. Compare one avocado, right? Huge amount of vitamins, minerals, fibers, blah, and only 2 grams of sugar. Compare that to a banana. A single banana has 90 calories. 90 calories in one banana. And 20 grams of sugar. Think about that. In one banana that you eat, when I was younger, I used to eat dozens of bananas like a monkey. I used to eat bananas, apples, mangoes, massive amount of fruits. I used to put a ton of honey in my tea, right? It's massive amount of sugar. You have to zip it now after a certain age. Or if you have love handles, belly fat, butt fat, hip fat, then you can no longer eat all these nasty fruits that are full of nasty sugar, right? Glucose and fructose, right? It's good when you're young, when you're growing, when you're developing, or when your metabolism is high. I used to go to the gym all the time, 4 hours a day, swim, bike, hike, have sex with my girlfriend 5 times in a night, blah, blah. My metabolism has slowed down, right? My testosterone was through the roof. Now it has come lower. I'm 50 years young. So I need to cut back on all this beautiful stuff that I used to eat, right? I could eat huge pints of ice cream, right? And my belly would stay flat because my testosterone was huge. My activity, I used to exercise constantly. I don't have the time anymore. I need to work 8 to 10 hours a day, right? At our beautiful cardiovascular clinic. So I cannot eat like I used to. Otherwise, my belly is going to go up like my family members. But they don't care about my recommendation. They keep eating everything 10 times per day without consideration, as if there was no tomorrow, and tomorrow the earth is going to vanish, right? That's how they eat. They think they enjoy life, but they're not enjoying life. They're killing themselves, right? So remember, do not fall for this lie that you need to eat fish or seafood every week And never forget how the FDA, even though it recommends you to eat fish or seafood every week, it tells you, the FDA, to not exceed 2 to 3 portions per week, because they acknowledge that every seafood that you buy at the stores in the US is full of arsenic, cadmium, lead, mercury. Every freaking fish, shrimp, or any seafood you buy is full of it. Right? So why would you take a chance so that slowly over time, over many years and decades, these arsenic, cadmium, lead, and mercury, these 4 nasty heavy metal poisons accumulate in your brain, and by the time you retire at the age of 60, 65, 70, 75, they found out that you have dementia. Why take a chance? Just look at me. I haven't eaten a fish for 10 years, and I supplement. I replace all the proteins and vitamins and minerals and omega-3 that I could find in fish and in shrimps by other food that are 100% unprocessed, 100% arsenic, cadmium, mercury, lead free, and that are not going to give me dementia. I'm not going to get dementia from whole almonds, whole walnuts, whole pistachios, and whole peanuts, right? Unprocessed, no sugar, no fat. I'm not going to get dementia from 100% pure peanut butter, superfood. And of course, every day I eat about 6 eggs for my breakfast, right? That's it. I get all the protein, plus, of course, this protein powder that I get, right? This protein powder that I get, right? Look at this. I get all the pea protein that I mix with cocoa powder, no sugar, no salt, nothing. That's it. I get all the protein, all the vitamins, all the minerals, all the antioxidants that you need. Did you know that peanut contains one of the most powerful antioxidants called resveratrol? It's amazing. People don't know that, but peanut butter, superfood. It's not a food, it's superfood, but don't make it processed. No sugar, no fat, right? And no hydrogenated. It's 100% pure, right? And look at this, 100% pure. Did you know that cocoa powder has massive amount of potassium, magnesium, vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, every freaking vitamin and blah, 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 and of course, healthy amount of dietary fibers. Remember, you need at least 30 grams of dietary fibers to stay away from colorectal cancer. I get double, at least 50, 60. Cocoa powder, unprocessed, right? It has to be not processed with alkali. If you buy cocoa powder that is processed with alkali, you destroy all these benefits of cocoa powder. Buy it pure, unprocessed. Baking cocoa powder, pure, unprocessed. This cocoa powder has one of the most powerful antioxidants in the universe called proanthocyanidin. It is a powerful antioxidant. That's all you need, guys. And you don't need to eat all this stuff millions of times per day. I usually have only 3 meals, maybe 1 snack if I crave in the middle. During weekends, maybe I have 2 snacks on Sunday. I work also on Saturday, but on Sundays, because I'm not working, so my mind needs suddenly a snack. Okay, this is what I grab. I don't go grab a pizza or a burger or a chocolate cake or an ice cream. My fridge is empty. There's nothing. I don't bring food home to avoid the temptation. My freezer is empty. I don't bring anything in the freezer home to avoid the temptation, right? If you bring it home, you're going to eat it. So don't bring it home to avoid the temptation, right? Right now, I don't have a girlfriend. It's been 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, I forgot. I don't have a girlfriend. But if I had a girlfriend, like my last girlfriend was an Italian, beautiful Italian girl, right? Walking around in my apartment, in her freaking underwear, nice beautiful butt, nice beautiful boobs, right? My God, how is it possible to not grab her 4 or 5 times a day and have sex with her, right? If you see it, you're going to grab it and have sex, right, with the lady, right? It's the same thing for the food. It's impossible to resist the temptation. So don't bring it home, right? All I have at home is all this stuff that I showed you. That's it. So when I want a snack, I grab 2 eggs. When I need a snack because I'm hungry, I grab a fistful of walnuts or almonds or peanuts or pistachio with some tea or coffee. Decaf after 12 o'clock, right? If I'm hungry, I grab 2 avocados. My God, 1 avocado, only 2 grams of sugar. That's it. Remember, I'm on the keto diet. So I have to stay maximum 20 grams of sugar, right? And you're going to eat 1 apple. In 1 apple, you have already 20 grams of sugar. That's it. Then you wonder why you're getting fat. Because you're no longer 12 years old, 19-year-old, 20-year-old, 30-year-old. Look at yourself, look at your belly, look at your hip, look at your ass. If you have, look at your chin, right? Look at Dr. B, no fat. Look at your chin. If you have fat anywhere, then you need to zip it, right? You need to do like Dr. B, go on the keto diet. You can go on the carnivore diet, but I hate the carnivore diet because it is meat, and every meat that you can buy anywhere is processed food. And meat is a carcinogen. Group 1 carcinogen of the International Agency for Research on Cancer, IARC, International Agency for Research on Cancer, that is established in the city of Lyon, the 2nd biggest city of France, in 1965. It's a carcinogen. Group 1, the same class as tobacco smoke, air pollution, ultraviolet radiation, X-ray, tobacco smoke, and all this stuff. It's and alcohol. How can I forget alcohol? These nasty carcinogens are in the group 1. And that is where you have also processed meat. The meat in your pizza, those pepperonis, those sausages, the pork that you buy, the freaking fish that you buy, the freaking red, beautiful T-bone steak that you buy. It's all processed meat. Full of carcinogens, full of heavy metals, full of dyes, full of nitrates and nitrites, full of nasty forever chemicals, right? That go give you cancer, heart attack, stroke, dementia, blah, blah, rapid aging and everything. Why would you do that? Do like Dr. B. Have your proteins, your vitamins, your minerals, your antioxidants, your dietary fibers from healthy, simple, unprocessed food. And anybody who tells you that you need to eat fish or seafood at least 2 or 3 times per week, right? Show them my video. I'm 50 years young. I run faster than a 20-year-old. All my parameters of health are those of a baby, and I check my health with a blood test every 6 months, twice a year, yes, and every freaking week I take the ultrasound probe at our beautiful cardiovascular clinic, and I check everything. So far looks like a baby, and I can prove it to you also in front of you. I don't know if I have ever shown you this. This is the muscles of Dr. B, 50 years young. Look, I am just bone, skin, and muscle. Do you see any fat? No sagging skin, no fat. Look, pay attention to this. This is my left biceps. My legs are the same, my tummy the same, flat like a board. My legs the same. I can run faster than a 20-year-old in a sprint. I'm not a long-distance runner. I can swim faster. I can lift more weight than a 20-year-old. Most 20-year-old that I know in my family, in my entourage, blah, 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 they are fat. They're sitting constantly behind a freaking computer, stuffing their mouth with nasty processed food, right? 30% of teenagers in America, 30% have prediabetes. 30% of teenagers in America have prediabetes. 50% of teenagers in America are overweight. 50% of teenagers in America are overweight, right? So just grab the bull by the horn, become your own healthcare advocate, learn to zip your mouth, go to the gym. It's just not enough to diet, right? You have to go to the gym. You have to sleep 7.5 to 9 hours a night. For me, 9 is better. That's how my memory is so super sharp, right? Because good sleep, don't sleep more than 9 hours maximum, right? Super sharp. I wake up in the morning, I'm done until the next night when I'm going to go back at 9 o'clock. I put my head after 2 minutes, I'm gone. And my brain wakes me up at 6 o'clock in the morning spontaneously. So do not need to eat fish, but make sure that among the 3 omega-3 fatty acids, remember that these last 2, EPA and DHA, are present only in fish oil. So you cannot have them if you eat only walnut oil, peanut oil, blah, 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 right? Olive oil and canola oil and almonds and stuff. They are full of omega-3 fatty acid. But remember, the last 2 ones, you can find them only in fish oil. And remember, last but not least, if your heart is healthy like me, do not take more than 1,000 one time in the morning. If you have cardiovascular disease, take 3. Good for you. But if you are healthy and you take more, then you're going to have atrial fibrillation, AFib, as you get older. So this is toxic. Fish oil is toxic for your heart if you take too much, if your heart is healthy. Fish oil, only 1,000 milligrams, means every morning, pay attention, every morning I take just 1 of these. Do you see it? 1. That's it. I get all the EPA and DHA that I need. I'm 50 years young. I'm not growing anymore. I don't need massive amount of fish oil or proteins and blah, 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 right? Vitamins, minerals. Right? You don't need that much food as you think you need. Right? You don't need it because you're no longer a kid growing. You're no longer a teenager. You're no longer an adolescent. You're no longer a 20, 30, 40-year-old man running, biking, hiking, or a woman swimming every day. Right? If you're a certain age, obviously. Right? So pay attention to that. Guys, Dr. B graduated from medical school more than 30 years ago. I took the Hippocratic Oath to promise that I will never, ever, ever, ever put my own interest above yours. I will always put your interest above mine. I will never sell you garbage. I will never tell you my opinion. My opinion is not my opinion. What I'm telling you is the truth, the scientific evidence, right? The scientific evidence. I constantly upgrade my knowledge. I constantly read at least 1 hour per day the latest medical discoveries, new diseases, new medication, new drugs, new this, new treatments, new surgical techniques to stay on the top of my game. The same way the number 1 golfer or basketball player or tennis player in the world keep practicing 8 hours a day to stay on the top. Same thing for Dr. B, and I will never retire. I will be keeping touch with you and keep teaching you how to stay healthy and age gracefully until we both die at the age of 100, God willing, in our sleep healthy. Regardless of your gender, ethnicity, race, color of your skin, religion, ethnicity, politics, Democrat, Republican, anything in between. I don't give a cat whether you're a male, female, anything in between. I love you. I give you a big hug, because I love medicine and people, and that's why I went into medical school. Put your comments, question, anything you want to ask down there. I promise I will get back to you as soon as I can in my busy but lovely life. God bless you all. Talk to you next time. Bye-bye.